So they say, I'm going to start this thing, and if it does well, or if I get 10 views, or if I get 1 million, or if, there's contingencies to what they're doing. Just be consistent.
Hey everybody, it is Dr. Tamara Allen, your currency strategist, and guess who I am here with today? One of the top podcasters from the vault on the planet, Ash Cash.
Hey,
Ash.
Ash Cash is in the building, the financial motivator.
Woo.
Inside the vault, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. We in the building.
In the building,
Yes,
in the building.
literally.
You know, it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Sitting with us. Guys, when I tell you he is paving the way for us to do our podcast, so mine is called Pussycat Talk Podcast.
Pussycat Talk Podcast. Check it out. What's the goal of the Pussycat Podcast?
It's talking about the generations between women and how they need to be acting, if they know how to be submissive or know how to act ladylike,
Yes.
and that kind of stuff. And
Yes.
then on business as well.
Yes, love it, love
Yes,
it, love
yes,
it, love
yes.
it. Necessary.
But we're talking about today how Ash Cash got into becoming a podcaster.
Yes.
And how he's been helping other businesses pave the way.
Yes.
So what is your most #1 top tip about being a podcaster? Because you did finances before.
Yeah, so here's the deal about whether it's podcasting, writing books. I think first and foremost, always start with who you are in your being. #1, first and foremost, because I don't consider myself a podcaster. I consider myself a financial educator.
Yes.
So that's who I am in my being. And then I just try to figure out ways to deliver financial education to the masses.
Gotcha.
And so, 2009 I wrote a book. That was the way I said I'm gonna get my information out. Then I used to be on magazines. I used to write for a magazine. Then I did television. Then I did radio.
Wow.
Then when podcasting was where everybody's attention was, I said, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing that I do in books, magazines, radio, everything, and I'm gonna put it in there. And so for anybody who's watching, if it really starts with a message. It doesn't start with, okay, I want to be a podcaster, and so let me find a topic to podcast, because what's gonna happen is that once podcasting dies, if it dies or whatever the case may be, then now you're gonna have to try to do another pivot. For me, I never have to pivot.
Correct.
Because all I'm doing is being myself. I say, yo, I'm gonna be a financial educator till God call me home.
You know, it's crazy you say that, because that's where it really started for us.
Yeah.
As we have moved forward in our family, the boy's dad died from COVID. My husband now is actually hospitalized for a mental illness. We set up and did the business to save our family home from going into foreclosure. And in doing so, financial literacy has literally taken our business, our family, our business to the next level. So we feel like we got to help other people. And you motivated us to be able to do that on the financial plane.
Yes.
I want to say thank you for that, okay? Because to see a chocolate brother,
Yes.
handsome and debonair,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
giving out the word and literally inspiring others. So if you are a new podcaster outside of being yourself,
Yes.
being in your being,
Yeah.
what is the second tip
Yeah.
that a person needs to do?
Yeah, so the second tip is consistency,
Okay.
right? Because a lot of times people start stuff, and if they don't get the result, like they start things, and there's a contingency to continuing. So they say, I'm gonna start this thing, and if it does well, or if I get 10 views, or if I get 1 million, or if, there's contingencies to what they're doing. Just be consistent. Get rid of any type of stipulation. Get rid of any type of thing that says if this then that. Just say the moment that you're gonna start this thing, say I'm gonna do this thing, whether it is one person or 1 million people, I am gonna be loyal to that group. So if, like for myself, I said, look, I'm gonna start this podcast, and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm gonna give people a new episode of Inside the Vault.
Okay.
Rain, sleet, like it doesn't matter. I don't care what's going on in the world. Every Thursday, you will get a new episode. And that consistency is what allows you to build an audience. That consistency is what makes people trust you. That consistency is why your stuff will grow. Because once people see that you're consistent, now they're gonna tell their friends, they're gonna tell their family, and that's where it happens. So those 10 people, if those 10 people that's watching you religiously now tell 10 people, now you got 100, now you got 1,000. That's how you get to the million.
Wow.
So really just stick to it. And a lot of people think that success happens overnight. It doesn't necessarily happen overnight, right? It might feel like overnight because one day you're gonna look up and you're gonna be like, wow, like I really have this impact. Like I never thought that I would be impacting millions of people's lives.
Yes, you are.
But when I started, I said, you know what? I just have this message. I'm gonna get the right people and connect them with the message. And if you're faithful to what you do and be consistent about it, people are gonna feel that passion. People are gonna feel like, oh wow, this person really cares. They really want to move me forward. And every episode has to be like you're talking to that one person, because now that one person is gonna tell another person, and then that's how it's gonna grow. So be consistent.
Last question. Do you recommend that a person starts with once every week or every other week or once a month?
Yeah,
so that's where people get confused.
Yeah, so I personally say if you have a message that's important enough that people need, you got to be in their face. And so I would say, you know, the best thing to do is to start at least once a week. At minimum should be once a week. I know people that do every day. I know people that do twice a week, right? So whatever your schedule could fit and you could be consistent. The one thing that people don't realize though is that people don't realize that you don't have to do it all. You don't have to release them all at the same time, right? So I am a very busy man. I run multiple businesses. I'm always on the go. And so even my podcast, Inside the Vault, I batch record those, right? So even as we speak, I have episodes up until the end of the year.
Wow.
Right? And so now once I record again, I'm going to record again about maybe 12 to 18 episodes. So now I'm going 3 months at a time. So what happens is now I have all of these interviews lined up. And so now I know, all right, I could give up 1 or 2 days and then I batch record, and then now I have these in a can and I just keep that schedule. And then that helps me, you know, stay focused.
Guys, oh my God. We're standing up on my skin right now, okay? He just dropped the bomb, the gem, the nuggets, whatever you want to call it. Yes. Please make sure to follow Ash Cash on Instagram and all platforms, as well as YouTube. Thank you so much, Ash Cash.
My pleasure, Queen. Thank you so much. I appreciate all you do. Holding down. You raising some awesome men. It's a salute to you, salute to the family, everything.
So much.
I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need a track.